This is a berry and this is also a berry. But when someone asks you to think about a berry, you wouldn't say banana or tomato. You would say strawberry, raspberry, or maybe blackberry. But actually, none of those are berries. What about rhubarb? How would you classify that? Most people will say it's a fruit, but it's a vegetable. What's next? Me telling you that blueberries are vegetables too? No, those are berries. Are you confused yet? Then let's figure out how to correctly categorize these foods. Generally, we consider anything that has a sweet or sour taste as fruit, and we love to use those for dessert, while things with a savory taste are seen as vegetables and are more commonly used in the main dish. This simple distinction is totally fine when we look at it from a culinary perspective. In fact, this is how the categorization works for a chef. But when we look at the classifications from a biological point of view, we have to reevaluate this approach. In botany, fruits are defined as the part of the plant which forms from the flower and contains the seeds. All the other parts, like the leaves, the root, and the stem, are considered vegetables. That's why rhubarb is a vegetable. Now let's focus on fruits. Not all of them are made equal. We had 3 main categories and one that seems to be a bit controversial. Simple fruits form from a single ovary from a single flower. There can be dry fruits that have a hard shell once they have matured. For example, nuts fall under this category. But beware that only those with a single seed covered by a non-splitting shell are really considered as nuts. Walnuts and hazelnuts meet the criteria. Peanuts, however, don't fall under this category, and one of the many reasons why is that there's usually more than one seed inside. Then we have fleshy fruits, which, as the name suggests, have a fleshy part surrounding one or multiple seeds. Examples would be apples, peaches, and tomatoes. Back in the day, classifying tomatoes was such a hot topic that the US Supreme Court had to answer the question whether they are fruits or vegetables. But I'll elaborate a little later on that crazy story, because now comes the part that made you click on this video. Fleshy fruits can be further categorized into drupes, berries, pomes, and citrus fruits. Drupes are also called stone fruits and have one seed inside, which is surrounded by sweet and juicy flesh. Peaches belong to this group, but so do olives, because remember, fruits come from the flower of a plant, and that's what olives do, even if they don't taste sweet. Berries are similar, but instead of a single seed, they have multiple seeds embedded. Eggplants, tomatoes, cucumbers, different types of peppers all fall under this umbrella. But why exactly aren't strawberries and raspberries here too? Because they do not form from a single ovary. We'll see that it's a little more complicated. Pomes are similar to berries and have multiple seeds inside, but the difference is they develop from a compound ovary. A compound ovary basically has multiple chambers. Since this isn't something that can be seen with the naked eye when you look at fruits, don't even try to guess whether something is a berry or a pome. Examples of pomes include apples and pears. Citrus fruits are actually a type of berry, but they are characterized by a leathery outside, and you guessed it, lemons and oranges belong to this group. Then we have aggregate fruits, which form from multiple ovaries that are in a single flower. Examples would be strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries. See how this blackberry is made up from many little drupes? Multiple fruits have a similar look to them because they are derived from many flowers packed together. Pineapples and figs would be examples. And then we have our last category, accessory fruits. They are also referred to as false fruits because they form from parts other than the ovaries. Strawberries fit into this category, and if you paid attention, you probably realized that I said they're aggregate fruits just a couple seconds ago. I did not lie, they belong to both groups. Look at this close-up of a strawberry. These are the actual fruits, and the red part is just quote-unquote supporting tissue. We have a number of little drupes, which makes it an aggregate, but also it's made from parts that are not the ovaries, which makes it an accessory fruit. It is absolutely possible that one fruit falls into more than a single category, which can make it hard to classify. Sometimes even so much so that the US Supreme Court has to intervene. In the 19th century, it was required to pay import tax on vegetables. The John Nix & Co. company was a wholesaler that did not agree when they had to pay taxes for their imported tomatoes. So they decided to take matters to court and argued that tomatoes are fruits and therefore they want their money back. In the final verdict, the court acknowledged that tomatoes are indeed fruits, but in everyday life they're used like vegetables, and so they were classified as such, and the company had to keep paying the tax. If you enjoyed this video, you might also like this one.